Hello, hello. We are back, and I'm proud to welcome back my allegedly sick, but I also think maybe because didn't want to talk about the Colts coworker, Chelsea. Chelsea, welcome
Not
back.
true, not true. I really have been sick. You could probably still hear it a little bit. We're getting there.
I
Hopefully, I'm completely healthy by Christmas. That's the goal.
I think Chelsea gave me whatever she has because I've been
By
sick.
not seeing you. Yeah.
Yeah, but not by in through the laptop, even though we haven't had the laptop through text
Through the
messages.
Zoom. It's Zoom's fault.
Yeah, but it's been about a week or so, and I got a little surprise for you because. I don't think we've ever talked about this on the podcast, but we've definitely talked about it off the podcast. My job gave me a little Christmas like Amazon gift card bonus. So I used it to get myself something nice. Finally got,
Oh, that's sick, dude.
yep, I
That's that's sick.
finally got myself a TJ Watt jersey.
That's awesome, dude.
I need another Steelers jersey. All I have is Troy Polamalu and a receiver who will not be named. So hint he was on Madden.
Santonio Holmes?
Hint he was on the Madden cover.
Oh,
Yeah.
the
So I
obvious one that I went with Santonio Holmes and not the obvious.
that's a whole.
Yeah, that's
Anyway,
awesome. You should wear it tonight in honor of TJ not playing.
oh my goodness, that when I heard the news story, like, oh yeah, he got stabbed. I said the same thing a few years back when Tyrod Taylor got injured, like they stabbed him to the heart, and I remember like this is not Pulp Fiction when they're stabbing Uma Thurman to the heart if to revive her.
That's tough, dude. He literally had a collapsed lung. He
It's
was in the
just
hospital overnight, I think.
how
Terrible, dude.
powerful is this neat. All I'm thinking is like, oh man, they missed the playoffs because they killed
I
their
mean,
they almost
you're
killed
you're
the
you're
best player.
playing the Dolphins. You should win.
Keyword should. Keyword
That's
should.
that's fair. Fair point.
But that goes to a lot of teams that, should have won, could have won. And that's we'll just all recap of week 15 has to start with the fact that no one wants to win the NFC South. No one just wants to win the NFC South, and it's ridiculous.
The Falcons do.
It, don't make me laugh.
Kyle Pitts would like to win the NFC South.
Yeah, I cheers to all Kyle Pitts fantasy playoff owners. You were golden on Thursday.
I
But
had
yeah,
him on my bench. Even if I had started him, I still wouldn't have won.
it's just like the Panthers. I get it. You're going to New Orleans. You're going to the Superdome. It's going to be a tough game. It's a division game. Just a terrible penalty at the end of the game. The fact that the Saints and Falcons are staying in the way of the two best teams. I put best in very loose terms right now to the Buccaneers and the Panthers. I'm just so happy. I think they still have to play twice this year. Just let them play each other and just like congratulations, you get to host a playoff game and get knocked out immediately in the first round.
Unless, the Panthers show up who beat the Rams, and then they can beat anyone.
Oh my, they beat the
Because if
Rams.
that Panthers team shows up, they can beat anyone. The problem is that they show up like once every 3 games. So if you catch them on the right week, you are going down.
Like the Panthers beat the Rams. The Seattle, they still are 5-1. They beat Seattle. They beat um I think did they beat Detroit or did they lose to Detroit this year? I can't
They
remember.
didn't beat the Niners. The Niners
No.
beat them on Monday night.
The Rams smoked them on Sunday night. It was I don't know.
Well, they beat the Rams.
Um yeah, the Panthers beat the Rams.
Yeah.
Buccaneers got smoked by the Rams. But it's just
Yeah,
like
yeah, that's true.
I think with Tampa, it's one of those things is Baker's clearly not 100%. He clearly is still struggling with a shoulder injury. I'm happy Mike Evans back, even though he's probably not get to the 1,000 yard mark. He's still Mike Evans. He's still a Hall of Fame receiver.
Had
They'll
130 yards in his game back.
they're gonna try for that 1,000 mark, but I don't think they're gonna make it.
I don't think so.
Godwin's back. They have their weapons back, it seems, on offense, but like Kyle Pitts and Kirk Cousins just this was also well, I guess trust me, we're gonna be talking about Uncle quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins with an awesome throwback game. We got to see old school Kirk Cousins
That's true.
just smoke Tampa's defense and Todd Bowles, who I think he's like almost like a poor man's Mike Tomlin, which is like he's not gonna get so angry and aggressive. He's not gonna yell at you, but well, Tomlin will yell at you, but he's not at a press conference. He's gonna be very firm. Bowles let loose. This wasn't Dennis Green anger, but it was Dennis Green Woods when Dennis Green had his rant after losing to the Bears.
Yeah, it was a tough look for the Bucks and a tough look for the Panthers. I mean, that was their chance. All they had to do was go in and beat Tyler Shuck, which side note, Tyler Shuck is actually not terrible. I feel like there's like some kind of national like story around him. He's actually really not that bad. I mean, not to say that he's good enough to prevent getting replaced. Like, I don't think that that's the case. But like he's not terrible. Of all the quarterbacks they've run out over the last 3 years, he's really not that bad. So props to him for, actually showing up and, let him down the field and he had a relatively good game, all things considered. Just a very disappointing performance for the Panthers. I mean, that's just a game you can't blow. You're coming off your bye week, you beat the Rams, you're on the highest of highs, you're rested, you're probably healthier than you've been all year because you just had your bye week and you lose. That's just, man,
And you lose
that's
in
tough, dude.
devastating fashion with the penalty at the end of the game, the late
Yes,
hit.
Conlon and I were reading Instagram comments and angry post-game subreddit threads for Carolina.
Oh boy.
And the first, so we read it right after the game. So, you know, general opinion may have changed right after the game. It may have just been all the angry people who were there, which probably was.
Like you
But
and
a lot
Colin.
of them, yeah, not a lot of them, according to Conlon, were not blaming the rookie for the hit, which is crazy in my
Yeah,
opinion.
that is.
I mean, I understand you're going full speed. He's going to the ground. You're already running. Like, I get it. But he didn't even try to not level him. Conlon was telling me about him who committed the hit. Apparently, he's a rookie who just tries to hit everyone as hard as possible every play, even if it's not warranted.
Yeah.
Conlon, he was like, I don't care if he's a fourth round rookie. I don't care. Cut him.
Dang.
Like, he was not the reason, the singular reason they lost that game, but he was a very large contributor as to why they lost that game. Just a terrible look, dude. I mean, just terrible.
No, that's not good. And the only thing worse than that is, yeah, the Cowboys defense and the Cowboys playoff hopes, which technically the Cowboys playoff hopes are still alive at 1%. It's the Jim Carrey meme. We still got a chance.
So you're
But
telling me we have a chance.
but yeah, and JJ 9 McCarthy, when JJ 9 McCarthy lights you up on Sunday Night Football, it's just um I'm like it's one of those things where you're happy that the Cowboys they look a lot better than they did like say a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. They're clearly improving as a team. And I think Dallas honestly is a good team. I think Dallas is a good well, they're really good on one side of the football and just straight trash on the other side of the football because any team that gives up that many points to JJ McCartney, I can't say is a playoff team.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Still wouldn't shock me if they somehow made it in, but at this rate, it's not looking great. I mean, JJ McCarthy had, I think it was 3 touchdowns to 1 turnover. He had 2 passing, 1 rushing, and I believe he had an interception. I don't know if he had any fumbles though. But no, I mean, good showing. Yeah, Cowboys needed that game. That was a bad loss for sure. I was reading some headlines. Apparently, they could not really convert in the end zone. Lots of Brandon Aubrey sightings, which if you had him on your fantasy team is great. But if you're a Cowboys offensive player, you'd rather have touchdowns.
If you're Cowboy fans, you gotta have touchdowns. If you're Cowboy everything, you gotta have touchdowns. And it doesn't help that at late in the game, Williams goes down with an ankle injury. So I'm not gonna say just like at this point to sit him for the rest of the season, but like chances
Conlon would say don't sit him because he's on his fantasy team and he's moved on to the next round of the playoffs. So if they could not sit him, that would be awesome.
oh man. Well, all I know is like with this Cowboys team is just they've had a season for the ages in terms of every other game, it seems like this is a great team. This is a playoff team. This team stinks. This team's going to have a high draft pick, which it still
Like the
would.
Panthers. I mean,
Don't
that's
make me
what's been
laugh.
happening every week with the Panthers.
What, what do you consider the Cowboys a good team? I guess at this point, they're 6-7-1. I'm not doing 6-7 meme. They're 6-7-1. Um,
Sorry, had to do it for the kids.
oh, for the kiddies. Are they have one of the best offenses in the league and one of the best kickers in the league, but they have one of the worst defenses in the league. I know you're not a Jerry Jones fan, but Jerry Jones, at least in terms of getting personnel, does a good job of getting personnel.
Schottenheimer has been impressive, I feel,
Yeah,
from an
Sean,
outsider's perspective.
everyone wanted to just throw Sean Hyman in the garbage can. Like, you don't know how good he is. He definitely has the lineage. He's a Schottenheimer, but yeah,
Still, just a bad loss. I mean, they needed
well,
that game bad.
I guess like at this point, if like in a month from now, I'm not sure how the rest of the season is gonna play out, but would you consider them a good team, an average team, a below average team, a bad team? What would you rank the Cowboys at this point?
I would say that their offense is probably one of the best in football when it performs. Um, their defense is really bad. So if you take a really good offense and add it to a very bad defense, so I will say the defense has improved. I mean, I know they didn't have a great showing, but I mean, compared to the beginning of the year, they're playing better than they did. So
Yeah,
bad plus good equals average. So I would say they're an average team.
and just if they were just slightly above average in terms of defense, they would probably be easily leading the NFC East because the rest of the NFC East is the NFC East is kind of falling apart. They're like a slightly better version of the NFC South. There's no one really wanted to hold on to it. The
Eagles had a good win though. They
they're facing
dismantled the Raiders
yeah
on Sunday.
they're facing the Raiders at this point. I don't
Hey,
care.
hey, 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 hey. Preventing a team from scoring any points at all is impressive. I don't care who it is. That's what people said about the Colts the first 8 games of the season. Oh, they're beating up on crappy teams. Well, that's true. They did beat up on the Raiders. The Raiders suck. That's just the reality. However, the people who play on the Raiders are better athletes than 99% of Americans. So, they still know what they're doing. They just had a terrible game. So the Eagles, they needed that. That was a get right game for them. But after that win and this Cowboys loss, I can't imagine the Cowboys come back and
But
do anything of relevancy.
I say this as someone who always roots for Kenny Pickett. I want him to do something with the Raiders, and he just couldn't do much in terms of moving the football at all. It was I get it.
You know
Yeah,
the Raiders are bad when they make Ashton Jeanty bad.
Ashton Genty, I feel bad for him. He's just
That's how you know.
man, just from the worst team in the AFC West to the best team in the AFC West, and possibly the best team in the AFC or NFL in general. The Denver Broncos offense showed out against the best, well, in my opinion, one of the best defenses in the league. And it's terrible that Michael Parsons went down with a torn ACL. But even before that, because he tore his ACL late in the third quarter, and they were driving, he tore his ACL, and they have just had a play get into the red zone. So even with Parsons out there. Bo Nix lit them up. It's actually the first time I watched a game. I said, okay, I think Denver might hands down be the best team in the AFC, which I've always been somewhat worried for because I just said this team is a dominant defense and a quarterback just getting by. When you do that to the Green Bay Packers, I have to say, like, no, there's something special about this team at this point. And I will say, in this crazy AFC where there's no clear number one or number two team, I think they are easily the best team in the AFC at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I know I had said in the past that I think the Broncos were fraudulent. Um, this put a big dent in, the wall of fraudulence to relevancy. The offense looked great. I mean, when Bo Nix is on, Bo Nix is great. The problem is that Bo Nix is not consistent. So if they play like that team, they're probably the best team in the AFC. However, the problem is that Bo Nix doesn't do that every week. And Bo Nix is going to be playing stiff competition like that in the playoffs. So it was a really good showing. It was impressive. Like that every week. They probably are the best team. The problem is Bo Nix has given us no reason to think he's going to play like that every week. So we'll see. But they definitely looked really good. And the offense shut a lot of people up. I just want to see them maintain it. Like if you are playing Buffalo, are you outscoring Josh Allen? That's my question.
That's honestly many people cannot score Josh Allen, but I don't think Josh Allen scored. Bo Nix will be facing the Bills defense, while Josh Allen will be facing the Denver defense, and that's going to be the
That's
big difference.
true, but
That
your conversation is always you're taking the better quarterback. I'm taking Josh Allen against the Broncos defense.
I
Even
would.
without a wide receiver one, I'm still taking Josh Allen against the Broncos defense.
That's true. My thing is, when a team is even, I'm going to take the team with the better quarterback. I don't think Denver and Buffalo's even though. I think Denver is easily better as overall is easily better.
Oh, overall, I agree. I just like I said, Bo
Yeah,
Nix, when he's been on, he's been great. When he's on, he plays amazing. I mean,
yeah.
no one's going to dispute that. And he's won some good games against some good teams. So it's not like he's devoid of talent. He's obviously
No.
not. I mean, he was a college standout. I mean, he played at Oregon, played at a bunch of schools. So, I mean, it's not like he has never found success. I'm just saying, I need to see some consistency from him. That was a great start. If he can build on that, they probably have a chance to win the Super Bowl. If he can keep playing like that and the offense can play like that against these really good top teams, they have a pretty good shot to win the Super Bowl. I just, I still have reservations about whether or not he'll be consistent or not. But time will tell. Like, are you going to go into New England and beat New England? Like, I'm not saying Drake May is the best quarterback in football, but they also have a top five defense. Their offense is also very good. So, like, are you going to go there? Are you going to beat them? Are you going to beat Buffalo? Like, I mean, if Houston makes it, score on Houston's defense, because I would argue Houston is a better defense than the Broncos. And that's saying something because the Broncos have a very good defense. Houston sacked Josh Allen 8 times
Yeah.
and beat them. So, like, are you doing that? Like, are you going in? Are you beating the Texans defense? Like, because they might win the division, them in Jacksonville. It's kind of, you can't really tell right now. So one of them is going to win. Even Jacksonville, if Trevor goes out, Trevor's the same as Bo Nix. When Trevor's on, Trevor is great. If you're going into Jacksonville, say that you're playing the division winner and they're the division winner, say the Chargers managed to win the division, the AFC West. Are you going into Jacksonville and beating Trevor Lawrence when he has a day like he had on Sunday? Bro had 6 touchdowns. They scored over 40 points. I know they were playing the Jets, but that was probably the best game of his career, like by
Yeah.
far. 6 touchdowns. Like, if Trevor Lawrence plays like that and they have a good defense, like, you know what I mean?
No, no,
There's a
that's
lot of good defenses, especially in the AFC and in the NFC once you get to the Super Bowl. I just want to see Bo Nix do it again. This was a great start. I just want to see him do it again.
well, let's stay with Jacksonville because Jacksonville did have and just absolutely slaughtered Jets so bad that the Jets fired the defensive coordinator Steve Wilkes after the game, which is
Which Panthers fans kind of eyes opened when that happened because Panthers fans love that man. They were
oh
so mad when they fired him.
oh yeah, because they got who's it, Matt Rule. They got rid of him for Matt Rule, and man, the Panthers 5 years ago kept making mistake after mistake after mistake.
At least they didn't hire Urban Meyer. Could be worse.
Yeah, it's please don't make me laugh. I mean, cough drops like the pills. Which they technically are, I guess. Cough drops are kind of pills. So, but yeah, that like you said, that might have been the best game of Trevor Lawrence's pro football career, at least.
It has to be. I mean, gosh,
Uh,
that was crazy.
like that entire, and again, like we said before with the Raiders, like yeah, they're still an NFL team, they're still supposed to be respectable, but man, like that entire team, because Travis Etienne had a great game, Trevor Lawrence had a great game. You're always scared.
Brian Thomas caught a touchdown. Brian Thomas. Can
The
you
fact
believe it?
the fact that we have to say that with such enthusiasm
I
just shows
know. Isn't that sad?
how far he fell for his fault now. It's so upsetting, but it's one of those things where it's Jack. I think I said before, Denver's probably the best team in the AFC, and you've always before Daniel Jones went down, like, your biggest way in the AFC South was always Jacksonville. Um, what is Jacksonville's future as it's because it's so weird because they are so inconsistent. They will have weeks where they look like the best team in the AFC. They'll have weeks where they look like this team's like a top five, top 10 draft pick team. This team's not. It's they're both inconsistent, but
That's Jacksonville, bro.
they
That's how they
easily
are.
they easily they're probably them and Houston go battle for the divisions, but they easily probably one of the best teams in. How can you be one of the best teams in the AFC and also one of the most inconsistent teams in all of football?
That tells you what it's like to be a Jacksonville fan. They've had a very strange year. Personally, I think that Houston takes the division,
Mm.
just because I trust their defense more. Though Jacksonville does have a good defense.
Yeah.
And I will say, if Trevor keeps playing like he played on Sunday, Jacksonville is winning that division. But I'm operating under the assumption that probably doesn't happen, unfortunately. And I have Houston winning the division. I do think the Jags still make it as a wild card team, and that's going to be a scary place to play. If you're a higher seed and you're playing Jacksonville in your house, that could be a scary game because if good Trevor Lawrence shows up, that's a tough game. Now, if you get Trevor Lawrence who throws two touchdowns and two interceptions and loses a fumble, that's a lot different. But if you get Trevor Lawrence who shows up and balls out, that's a scary first round matchup, especially with, their defense has been pretty good this year. Not as good as Houston or as Denver or, as some of those other teams, but they've still been good. I mean, that's probably a team I don't want to play if I'm in the playoffs since the first round, especially if
Yeah.
Trevor continues this trajectory that he's on and continues to build off of probably his best performance of his career.
Well, I'll say this. They might, if Pittsburgh can hold on to keep the division as whole, they might be playing Jacksonville, which I do not want to see Jacksonville in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Historically,
that's not a
it's
great matchup for
no,
Pittsburgh, I don't think.
like historically, and just in terms of what I've seen from the two teams this year, it's one of those things. It's weird. Them and Houston are honestly, I feel bad for your Colts, mostly just because like I think the Colts deserve to be there, but the injury gods were not kind to you. But
Honestly, we were pretty healthy most of the year. It was just the past week or two.
yeah,
That's the
but
unfortunate part.
Jacksonville, it's it's hard to judge because you say like if he keeps playing like this way, he's not going to throw 6 touchdown passes every week. Like if he keeps playing like
That's
this,
unlikely.
if he keeps playing like this next 4 weeks, he's somehow going to steal the MVP from Max Stafford or whoever.
Yeah.
But if you just see like not turnover machine Trevor Lawrence,
I mean, if Trevor goes out there and throws, three touchdowns and no turnovers the rest of the season, that is not a Trevor Lawrence I want to play in the playoffs.
that no, no, it's not. And like there's also not really a I would say there's not a Jared Goff you want to see in the playoffs, but Jared Goff probably won't make the playoffs because Jared Goff is on a team that has a very subpar defense to say the
They're kind
least.
of like the Cowboys, if
They're
you
like the
think
better
about it.
version, they're the better version of the Cowboys. They
Yeah.
just a much better, I'm not gonna say much better, but a better version of the Cowboys. And it's again, it's one of those things where it's the answer. It's part of its injuries. They lost Brian Branch for the year with a torn Achilles. The team's not wasn't even like in the weak state defensively before that. So you can't just say like, oh, like the defense has like the defense has lost players last year and this year.
I didn't realize Brian Branch was out for the year. That's a huge loss for them.
And it's just but you couldn't st and I get Matthew Stafford's probably the MVP. The Rams are probably, if not the best team in the AFC, NFC, they're probably one or two best teams in the NFC. But you could it was just like every game they play with the Lions, it's always a shootout. And I just have to think, A, it's good to have the Lions on a fantasy team, unless you have Jahmyr Gibbs like I did, and he got you no points. But in terms of it's just upsetting. Again, I think I've talked about this on Friday with the Joe Burrow situation. It's upsetting when you see a great quarterback or a great player. I'm not saying Jared Goff's up there, but he's a pretty good quarterback. And that team offense is a great offense, and you can't do anything because your defense is giving up just as many points to lose a game.
Yeah, no, that was a tough loss for the Lions. They needed that. They needed that really bad, and the offense put them in a position to win that game against the defense of the Rams, who again, I think is a top five defense in football. So, I mean, they went out and they showed them who they were on offense. I mean, there are not a lot of people who are dropping 30 plus points on the Rams defense. I mean, that is an impressive feat. And their defense just coughed it away. It's unfortunate. You hate to see it because Lions in the playoffs, everyone wants to see the Lions in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Like, because they were just so bad for so long. And everyone loves Dan Campbell. Everyone loves Gibbs and Montgomery, Sonic and Knuckles. Everyone loves Jared Goff and Amon Ra. Everyone loves Aiden Hutchinson. So, like, the Lions being in the playoffs is good for football because they're just so likable and they have such loyal fans. But I mean, at this rate, I mean, it's not looking good. I
yeah,
mean, they're 8-6 right now, which is not a bad record. But I mean, the NFC is so tight right now. They're going to need a couple of teams to fall off the map, and they're
yeah,
probably going to need to win out to make the playoffs. It's just unfortunate. They had the lead for a lot of this game. I mean, they started out really hot, and then Matthew Stafford, and just led them back gradually, and they ended up losing by a touchdown. And the Rams scored 41 on them.
and it doesn't help. You talk about making the playoffs that the Bears won both their games, so the Bears have a tiebreak on you. It's
The Bears had to. I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah. I
You should have been
that
expecting it.
I honestly I completely forgot because like who's like yeah I'm thinking like
Because
oh
I've
who's
been gone so long, you
yeah
forgot.
like oh yeah that's I forgot Chelsea does that stuff annoying habit that t has that tick
Uh,
between them
yeah, no, it's bad loss though.
with San Francisco with Seattle I guess Seattle's gonna be a wild card unless the
The
Rams win.
Panthers,
I think there's only one team in the NFC South um yeah and then you have Chicago and the Packers. And the Packers also have it.
Packers might be cooked.
I'm not gonna say the cook though. I losing Mike is big, but I still trust Jordan Love to at
I
least win a
mean,
few.
Christian Watson is also hurt. I saw a post on Instagram by a Packers account. It was like, we won, but at what cost? And it was like 9 players who sustained injuries
And
in
you
that
didn't,
game.
and technically you didn't even win.
Hmm.
But one team that you're thinking, well, not even at what cost, like what happened? Yeah, New England, 21 nothing lead. And then the snow's falling. It's Foxborough. It's the classic New England story. And then Josh Allen came riding on the white horse or white buffalo. Technically, it's a red, so Red Buffalo, and took them and James Cook took the game back from them. And just a remind, it's just a reminder, New England's still a year or so away. Because when Josh Allen was leading that comeback and James Cook was running on the ground, just controlling the ball in the entire second half, all was waiting like Drake may do something. New England offense. I'll say this: Travion Henderson is a beast. Travion Henderson had one of the best, had honestly the best run of the year. So he did his part. Henderson did his part, but you needed that offense to do something outside of just help Henderson making magic, and they couldn't really do much. And it's a reminder of why why I keep going back to my old saying, if two teams are around equal, I'm picking a team with a better quarterback. And a reminder why Josh Allen's just at a different level, and New England is still to me like years away because there's no reason you can't tell me with and I know it's bad to compare the two, but you're always compared to. There's no way I think with a Tom Brady-led Patriots team coughs up a 21-0 lead, or even like another really top tier quarterback in the AFC, like a Mahomes or a Josh Allen or a Joe Burrow. Well, maybe Burrow with that defense, but a 21 nothing lead for the division because they win that game, they get the division, it's over. They win the AFC East, and you cough it up. That's an experience to me. That's just one team has experience, one team doesn't.
Yeah. Can I just take a moment to say, as a Colts fan, how glorious it was to watch the Patriots blow a lead in Foxborough. Ah, that almost made up for me losing on Sunday. That was great. I was so happy. Go Josh Allen. Yeah, dude. Beat the Patriots. We don't like them. It really feels like last week was 2010. You got Philip Rivers playing. You have the Patriots going out to a huge lead and then somehow managing to blow it, which I guess isn't very 2010, but it still
No.
felt like it because the Patriots were good. It's
Yeah.
just, it was so glorious. You know, there's an argument. The same argument that people had for the Colts for the first 8 games of the season. Colts haven't played anyone. Colts haven't played anyone. Colts haven't played anyone. Might I remind the audience that the same argument applies to the Patriots? The Patriots went and beat Buffalo in the
That's
first half of the season. That was a
that
very impressive win.
yes it is.
Look at the rest of their schedule. Really, the only other team that they've beaten that has had impressive moments is the Bucks, and the Bucks win is losing strength day by day. The rest of the teams that they've played have not been good, and that is not to say that they are not still a good team. They obviously are, because the same arguments were against the Colts. The Colts were obviously still a good team when they were playing up to par. So the Patriots are a good team. However, I do agree with the inexperience thing. I think Drake May is the real deal. Like, I think he's really good. And I mean, he played pretty well, generally speaking, against the Bills. But that's Josh Allen for you. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Him and James Cook. I was playing James Cook in fantasy, I might add. He had a great day, by the way, in case you were wondering.
Yeah.
It was just so glorious watching them lose. And the Bills, I would argue the Patriots have a better overall team. I think that they're better
Oh,
on
easily.
offense, and I think that they're better on defense.
Oh
And
no,
they still lost. That just
easily.
tells you how good Josh Allen is.
It just tells you that Josh Allen and James Cook just like, get on my back and I will carry you to victory because
And Kincaid had a very good day. I believe he had 2 touchdowns. Or was it
It's
Knox? It was one of them. One of their tight ends had a very good day.
I believe it was Kincaid, but it's one of those things where I'm just watching them like because San Francisco has an argument. At least San Francisco, you say they were just injured to all get out, and they're still winning games. I New England lost to Pittsburgh this year, so I can't really say how great are you as a team if you lose to Pittsburgh.
That's
That's
fair.
and it's just
Not to say that their wins haven't mattered, because their wins have been good and impressive, but those are not the teams you're playing in the playoffs. Those are not the places you're traveling to in the playoffs. Drake May's going to learn from this. You know him
yeah.
and Vrabel are just going to be angry. So, probably not a team I want to face in the playoffs, but man, what an impressive comeback for Buffalo. Oh,
What
my heart
team
was so joyful.
a team that you definitely won't be facing in the playoffs is the Kansas City Chiefs, which officially they're eliminated from the playoffs for the first time since I believe it was like 2020, not 2020, like 2016 to 2017. The year before they got Alex Smith and drafted Mahomes. But no, they're out the playoffs. Mahomes tore his ACL, which I have to
Tough,
imagine.
dude.
I have to imagine,
Tough.
like you're thinking as a Chiefs fan, this season can't get any worse. And then you both missed the playoffs, and your marquee franchise player is now done for, not only done for
And
the season,
Gardner Minshew threw an interception when he came into the game.
just saw in the wounds. And it's against the Chargers, so it's also the Chargers sweep you in the
Did you
division.
see the Chargers meme post on Twitter?
The Chargers have no
It was
chill.
like, Mr. Krabs, we passed my house. I know, son. I know. And they're driving to Cancun.
The
Hilarious.
Chargers have no chill.
Hilarious, dude. Hilarious.
They like pour salt in the wounds, but it's just insane the comparisons. And I saw this on most social media and sports shows, just like this is Mahomes is in his seventh season. If he wins this, like Brady and Mahomes' seventh season was the perfect season in the last year. If they win this game, they're the greatest team of all time. They lose the game. The next year, they tear the ACL and they miss the playoffs, even though Brady was first week of the season. This is December. I Again, I said this last week about Mahomes, not Mahomes, about Joe Burrow, but in almost the opposite way. The fact they have not got a number one receiver to replace Tyreek Hill is insane. And the fact that they haven't, and I think part of it is both Tyreek Hill and the fact they lost Eric Bieniemy. And I think Bieniemy's been starting, the people starting to notice this was a really great offensive coordinator. The Chiefs have to take a lot of steps forward in this offseason. I think this is going to be the end of, unfortunately, the end of Travis Kelce. This is probably going to be the end of this iterations of the Chiefs team. So it will be interesting to see what they do in the offseason. It'll be interesting. I assume Mahomes will start week one because ACL injuries are like more than like they're more like 9 to 10 month injuries now instead of a full 12 full year month, full 12 months. But if he doesn't come back till say October, that could be something interesting. But this is definitely a different era. This is the end of one era of the Chiefs team.
Yeah, for sure. Tough loss for Chiefs fans. Everyone likes to crap on them because they hated their franchise. Coming from a Colts fan, give me the Chiefs with a franchise over the Patriots any day. Any day, please. Just not the Patriots again. Uh, we will finish it out with the season premiere of Unk on the Colts. Honestly, looked better than I was expecting through a touchdown. Game was closer than I expected. Beef we almost won. Honestly, Philip Rivers engineered a game-winning drive, and then the defense blew it because we played soft coverage. Why that always happens, I don't understand. But anyway, I didn't expect to win, and it was entertaining. So, I mean, thanks, Unk. Apparently, he's starting on Monday night against 49ers. So we'll get another dose of Unk.
I'm just happy he's alive.
Yeah, honestly, he really didn't get hit that much. We had both of our tackles out as well at certain points in the game. He fared pretty well, all things considered. I mean, he definitely has no arm strength, like at all. But outside of that, I mean, yeah, went about as good as you could expect.
Well, it was this was been an interesting episode. Chelsea, I'm happy to have you back. Um,
Happy to be
hopefully,
back.
hopefully we both had our own version of the flu game. So
Yeah, hopefully.
until next time, you know where to find us, people. This has been Launch Coach Football.
Yeah, thank you. See you guys on Thursday.
Right.